for the main talkers who are going to be talking right now, so everyone can hear you clear, concise. Um, Again, because this will be used as doctrine going forward. This podcast will be linkable, be streaming on all platforms, including Apple Music and Spotify, and an article will follow. Anyway, so yes, welcome to Straight Facts Podcast. What's going on, everyone? We will be here to solidify and clear the air as to what it means to be Soulan, aka Soulan with two A's. Um, we are making sure that the definition is tight and concise so that there is no confusion about who it belongs to and who um, is to be identified under this normer here. Um, we have T Roy in the building. What's going on, T Roy?
Yo, what's good, more? Yeah,
And
yeah, I see a lot of miscontroversy, over the time, and what it means to be so long, and what the definition, what it means not to be so long, and it's a lot of false definitions out here, and I
right,
just want to come here and clear that up for
and
everybody.
tighten it up.
That's been one,
And
yeah,
then
yeah, exactly, because people been asking, and I've just
yeah,
been
it's definitely been one of those popular questions. So it's going to be definitely great to just make sure this is ironed out. And then we also have fellow creator Midnight.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's going on, Midnight? Anything you want to say real quick?
Yeah, I also want to clear the misconceptions as well. When I first got back on Twitter in 2021, I had this account since 2009. Uh, I was essentially like the only one that was named Solon with the one A, D. I mean, a lot of people in this space could probably count for it, probably Shaw or Kush or whatnot.
Mm,
Then around like end of 2022, I started seeing the Solon with the two A's, and it was yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions. Like there was a lot of people not up the lineage probably using it, and people with I don't want to say bad intentions, but kind of ideologies that's not really congruent of why I call myself Soulan or whatnot. So I'm gonna land my plane from there.
yes, absolutely. And I'm also a fellow creator as well. And my name is Maroc. So let's just get down to some of the questions here. So Solon has been definitely making its way through social media. I see it all on Instagram, TikTok, um, and also here on Twitter a lot. So um, Solon has to be solidified under one placement, and we're here to do that. For this podcast, um, let's just start it out. What does Solon mean, whether it's with one A or two? Because from my understanding, T. Roy, you initially had it as one A and as well, and then you went to transition it to two A's. Was that more of an aesthetic?
Well, around when it first came out, when I first you know put the video out and shit like that, it did have one A, and basically what the soul meant, it just meant because everybody know what soul is. It's basically soul is basically Black American. It's basically like it goes hand to hand. Like when you talk about the soul people, you talk about Black Americans. You're not really talking about nobody else. So yeah, and people got it misconstrued it. Um I just feel like the two A's, we came out with that I think a year later or a year or two later. And I think it was just more of, more like it's more like aesthetically, pleasing to a lot of folks because, you can put it on shirts and shit like that and just it fits more. But yeah, the two A's, you see, it's all the same thing. You can, whether it's two A's, one A, you can go either way if you want it, if
Right.
you want to. But
So the
yeah,
right. So for the record, Solon formally is with one A, and then informally it is with two A's. So just to stand on business, if we are just being formal about it, it is going to have one A in it. But our
yeah, yeah. If you
Solon with
want to
two
be
A's
like,
is the AKA.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. If you want to be correct, it's 1A. That's the original version. That's just
Right.
the main version is the 1A.
So Solon, aka Solon two A's. Um, and that's just for the record as well. What is this meant? Who is this meant for? What is Solon meant for? Who identifies with Solon?
Like for me specifically, I kind of credit for myself just for a nickname, but um, always call like so my our folks just like soul brother and stuff like that. So it would fit all Black Americans descendants of child slavery as well. So
D-Roy, you had
Yeah,
something?
basically what Midnight said. You know, we call each other soul brother, soul sister, and it's basically synonymous with us. Like we are the soul people. Like I said earlier, my bad, I'm eating. But yeah, everybody knows us. Um, to be the soul people. You know, when it got to do with our music, anything we ever did, it's just we put soul behind it.
Absolute. So the soul people, the people of the soul, more specifically, Solon is for freedmen, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, ADOS. These are the specific people we are talking about. You have to be descendant from slavery here in America, in North America, in the United States of America. I just want to make sure that's absolutely clear. We're talking about freedmen. If you're not a freedman, you do not apply. So this has to be wrapped up tight. Um, and why would we call ourselves Solon?
You want to answer this, Midnight? All right, I got it.
I mean, some people want to ask. I'm like Shah just asked earlier, and there's some
Yeah, I
people
mean, you
who
can
just want
bring
to.
some. You can bring some people. Like after
Right, that'll be
you know.
later. But I just want to make sure
Okay.
this is a formal invitation first. What? uh, Why? Why Solon? People are asking why.
I'll say it's just another identifier. I mean, other folks of people like call themselves like they have their own slogans or any type sayings that they say to their own people or something like that. Hawaiians got it. Certain other ethnic tribes got it and whatnot. So over the Caribbeans, African, Asia. So I'll say it's just another identifier for us. So
Yeah, I don't think of it as anything. Uh,
socially, by the way.
Huh? What was the
right.
question? What was the
Uh,
question?
the question was basically why? Why Solon? What is it? Why do we need to come up with the concept of Solon?
I just feel like it's more legit. Um, because like realistically, Black Americans were like always like everywhere. Well, we always needed like like an identifier for our people that was outside of country lines. Like we had people in Canada. Um, obviously we had people in Africa. They got sent to Africa. We had people in the Caribbean. We got people in Mexico, what they call, as formerly known, Chicago.
Muskogos. Yeah.
Yep. And I think we had people in Europe, but I think they're gone at this point. But yeah, we always had. The point is that we always had people, outside, country lines, and they just need something better to identify themselves with because they can't just be like, Black American French or some shit like that. That won't even make sense. And if they say French American or American French, who are they specifically talking about when they say that? So I think it's just more so of a a specific identifier, to a point where you can to the point where it can be specific to who they actually come from. But yeah, that's really the main thing.
Absolute. And I think you know, I think it's great to have around. Again, it is one of the those optional um things that that has really taken off and people want to associate themselves with. So I have no problem with Solon, but as long as it's attached to my lineage, um, I feel like we should definitely define it a lot better to what it actually means. And this is one of the reasons why I felt the need to, or we felt the need to do this, because what did you guys think of that baby tea craze that came out and on TikTok, and it showcased Solon on a lot of these TikToks baby teas that they were selling? What was your initial thoughts?
I listen. You asked me. I really don't. Honestly, didn't have a problem with it. But I think the concept was cool. I mean,
I mean, what was
obviously,
your? I mean, it was a big thing. A lot of us that knew who was associated with Solon and in the creation of it was looking like, oh, okay, what did y'all really think about it? So, I mean, when you saw it, it was just more so like, yeah, I mean, I guess it would just roll off the
yeah, it was just me.
top.
I mean, because really, a lot of people supported it, so I was like, I guess it's not something I would buy, but it's I guess if they fuck with it, I guess go ahead, But
Absolute. And then what year will we say Solon really came to formal conception?
I say around the 2020 year, I gotta go check my video, but it
Yeah,
didn't start getting
mine
off the
was May
ground.
2020.
Yeah, it was
I
definitely around.
formally
Yep.
had the
So
name.
for Night and Me, it was around 2020, and I say it started getting off the ground around like 2022. Like it actually started getting like some notoriety.
And here's one maybe a little bit more um, controversial, but what did you think? Well, how did you think about um, where Solon has gone since it's been conceived? I mean, I've seen, um, there's been a lot of different groups trying to tether their way onto what it means to be Solon. Um, so, where do you think? Before this podcast, where do you think Solon was going, or where do you think the direction was going? Were you satisfied with that direction, or let's speak on where the direction was going?
So when I got on this app, or when I got back on this app, like end of 2021, when Spaces was about to pop off, um, I was pretty much on that would call myself. Like so, just like T. Roy said, I started seeing the Solon with the two A's in 2022 or end of 2022. I'm like, okay, that's dope. People probably saw probably my profile or probably my 'cause I had my Facebook public at the time and Instagram public. And maybe they saw that and they probably saw the connection with like using the Black American Heritage flag, just trying to celebrate the culture and whatnot. And they're like, I
Right,
saw
but hold on.
people
But for the
saw
record, because T. Roy added that later for the two A's, just to be
yeah the
clear.
two
But
A's.
go ahead.
Yeah, I never seen the two A's until
Right.
I got on this app. Um, so once I started conversing with some of these Solons with the two A's, the ideology was kind of like mixed up. Mine was like lineage. I was on the lineage specific stuff, like our own history, our own culture, our own ethnogenesis here and stuff like that. And then the great majority of them, they want to connect with the quote unquote diaspora and uh, black nationalism and Pan Africanism, which honestly doesn't work. So ideologies was definitely mixed up. So I had to start, and then once I had to start run some of them down. So because some was probably Democrat Shields or the Septum Ring stuff. Just all type of just all type of weird stuff that doesn't match up with my ideology specifically. So, because
So were they
I'm all about Black American ethnicity and heritage first.
absolutely?
Go
So
ahead.
you think it was leaning away from the lineage aspect of it?
Yeah, it definitely is lean. It definitely is leaning away from the delineation aspect of it. Like, why would you want to, if you want to call yourself Soulan, why would you want to make yourself a distinct group and then still go back and connect yourself with Afrocentric and Eurocentric values? Where, for my understanding, when I created, I was trying to get away from that. I wanted to embrace my Black American identity and and obviously the United States American identity for myself because that's where I'm from. That's where I'm obviously that's where all my family's from and whatnot. So
And T. Roy,
no,
what did you think about the direction that Solon was going?
See, when it started off, it was pretty cool. When it started off, everything was right. Everybody was teaching the right definition and things of that sort. But soon as like around right 2023 or something like that, different versions started sprouting out. Like after Soulan with the two A's, I seen Sulana or something like that.
yeah,
I've seen,
Sulani.
yeah, I've seen Sulani too. It's different types of versions I've seen, but like as you know, right, these are like suffixes. So yeah, I've seen people like what Midnight said, people that was um Pan Africans and Pan African flags and colors, and then you had LGBTQ and stuff like that. It really never meant none of that. So I just wanted to clear that up. You had LGBTQ themed colors and all this extra shit. None of that. It means none of that, bro. It literally just whatever our colors are. That's what it is. Whether it's red, blue, and green. I'm red, blue, and green. I mean red, blue, and white, or yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, I've seen a lot of you know outsiders, or would you say like melanated folks that's from abroad, that's not our people, will parade stuff people that's pushing this false Soulan thing to be something else that it's not. And I'm glad we're doing this podcast to clear things up and stuff like that. But yeah.
Absolutely, and just to be clear again, if you are a Pan African or LGBTQ or what have you, the thing is that that's fine. But the thing is that this Solon and what this means to be Solon is 100% geared towards our lineage first. Lineage is first. All that, everything else comes second to that. So I want to make be clear that Solon is lineage first. And then where do you guys see the Solon legacy growing after 2024?
I would like
Midnight.
us to
Yeah, I
pretty
was
much
about to say.
clear some of the misconceptions about it. Try to steer it in the right direction because I know a lot of. I'm a millennial, so I want a lot of Gen Zers try to really see it in the put it in the right direction because I'm in a lot of like Black American like groups like the Tutanese group. I see a lot of people call themselves younger Gen Zers call themselves Soulan and stuff like that, and they're of the ideology that's I mean not of my ideology and stuff like that. So I want my goal is I want it to be specifically to our heritage, like to our ethnic group, away from Afrocentric or any Eurocentric values, and like I said earlier, just be specific for Black Americans and our culture that was created in the United States of America specifically. So
Yeah, for sure. Soulan is definitely supposed to be geared towards more mainly just Black Americans. It cannot be co-opted. You cannot call yourself a Soulan if you're African, even if you third, fourth generation, or third generation, fourth generation. If your lineage don't go back to the people that were enslaved in America, you cannot absolutely cannot be a Soulan. But yeah. I've seen people that's that's Afrocentric, that's trying to you know make us synonymous with the Soulan. No, it's just Soulan is supposed to be focused on the black advancement of the people of North America, specifically the U.S., and to like you feel me, and to protect everything we have, you know. So that's what it all boils down to. It's just protecting
But
your
to ask,
lineage.
like, where is growing? Like, do you really want to see it grow to it becoming a lot more socially acceptable, involved? Not to say that it's not now, because every post I've made about Solon more recently has been getting quite the support from our fellow Black Americans. So just to see it grow even more socially, um, and accepted, and making sure it is defined. We're going to make sure this is tight. Um, Putting this on Wikipedia, putting this in articles, making sure we are defining this properly. And my last question is something that happened more recently as well. And if you have any questions, you can come up now, because I'll start inviting people to the
Hey,
stage.
Mark, I'm gonna add this. So I'm in currently in academia while I'm working right now. So I'm gonna try to maybe I'm gonna attempt to try to reach out to Black student unions at my colleges and then eventually university. I already have two associate degrees, but and try to maybe establish it that way so I can reach out more socially to some of the younger adults and then try to steal some of the education and values and pretty much self advocacy for ourselves. So I mean that's going to be pretty much my goal, and then try to do other things with it. Can't think off the top of my head right now, so I'm gonna land my plane.
Right, absolute, and I think all of that is very much important as well. Um, one thing that was recently gaining a lot of traction was when I posted the Solon flag. What did y'all think about the Solon flag?
I actually think it's pretty dope. I'm trying to think. Maybe instead of the probably using the Moore sword or something like that, we could probably use more Americanized sword because I know in the eight or during the Civil War there was the NCO sword that a lot of Black American Union soldiers used as well. But the figs, I mean, it's cool. I mean, to be honest, we could leave it as it is. I wouldn't even really have a too much of an issue with it because fine, because the all the stuff mill represents the Black American Heritage flag, and then obviously the American flag is all us.
Yeah,
So it doesn't,
basically.
and it's actually now I think of it, it's actually pretty much better because there's a lot of misconceptions. I guess with the Black American Heritage flag, you got a lot of tethers, a lot of naysayers like, oh, it looks like the Angola flag. But I mean, the Black American Heritage flag was literally made before the Angola flag. Oh, it looks like the Aboriginal flag. Like, like dumb comments like that. So they can have
I've
no
even seen a
confusion.
comment. I've
Good.
even seen a comment from the Europeans. I forgot what specific country in Europe it was, but they said it was the what the fuck did they say? Some type of Rome or some shit like that. I really don't. I couldn't remember, but I've heard a couple of things, some crazy things, you know, about the flag, about the Black Heritage flag. But yeah, I like the concept. It's just me specifically. I wouldn't put I wouldn't have the the figs and the sword as like gold. That's just me though.
And I also kind of see it as like almost like the David Hammond's flag that he made in the 1990s, the red, black, and green USA flag. He just added the Pan Africanist colors to the US flag. It's almost like the same concept. Like you add some elements of the Black American Heritage flag to USA flag. I think it's pretty dope, but yeah, there always could be some improvements. Maybe connecting more to like making more militant. I mean, because Black Americans did fight in every war. We did have swords in the Civil War, Revolutionary War. Um, Also in like I wouldn't say the cavalry, but we had cavalry, all black cavalry units as well that also carry swords as well. So
I just found
there's
it
some things out.
kind of funny that when I posted it, overwhelmingly I was getting a large amount of support from our fellow Black Americans, and I think maybe one or two I know who were actually Black American who had something not so nice to say about it, but overwhelmingly it was a positive reception of it. It's funny because most of the people who actually did not approve of it, though, were a bunch of panties. Pan Africans. If you're in this space and you have something to say about it, you're welcome to come up. We're about to wrap up the formal part of this as well. But they're the ones who had the biggest problem with this. Um, and I know they were Pan Africans if they did not write it straight out in their profile. It was very evident when you went to simply search their feed for lineage based reparations, and nothing came up. Nothing comes up. So these
Yep,
are
that's
people
true.
we need to find out and see who you are and what your where your priorities lie. If it's not lying with the same agenda that we have, which would be lineage based reparations, I think that's a big marker as to you not being part of this lineage, and you wouldn't have anything to do with Solon in the first place. So going forward, I would like fellow Pan Africans, when it comes to Solon, please care less. Going
Yeah, let
forward.
me just put this out before we move on, right? 'Cause I've seen a lot of talk, especially around in other social media sites besides Twitter. Um, there's been a lot of talk going around saying, I'm some xenophobic person, and it's a lot of people out here staking out and trying to like expose me, which I haven't really been xenophobic. I'm really just more speaking on my people, and but I just wanted to clear that up that it's not supposed to be some xenophobic thing. I know motherfuckers trying to like run out here and pay me that way, but it's really not supposed to be some xenophobic thing. It's really supposed to be for us to focus on ourselves and to basically delineate. If you see delineation as something that's xenophobic, then there's something honestly wrong with you because it's normal. It's normal throughout the whole world. It's basically a thing that's that is not new to this earth, and we're our own ethnic. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they just want to connect to our culture. That's such it. That's from all groups of people. It does matter. African, Caribbean, Asian, Europeans. They all want to have some stake in our culture. They want to control aspects of our culture. But when we self advocate, that's when you see the actual issues. Because if you go to a lot of people's like bios on social media, they're gonna have flags in their profile of a different country, whoever if they're from a different country as well, and then ideologies as well. So yeah, it's just projection for them. So I'm a land.
Yes, absolutely. Nothing about um, Solon is xenophobic. It is an absolute fact that covers what it means to be a Black American, um, to follow through with your lineage. This is completely lineage based, respectfully, just like your own particular lineage. There is no way that I could just maybe do a bunch of practices that you like to incorporate within your own particular lineage, move to your country, um, take on your values. None of that makes me whatever your ethnicity is. This ethnicity is tied to Solan, freedmen, Black Americans, ADOS, all of the above, as mentioned. Former nomers like African American and current, because I don't consider that current.
Find full episodes of the podcast featuring straight facts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Also, check out our Instagram for more Morocco